Today, we're diving into a simple but really powerful trick that can fundamentally change how you handle conflict. And honestly, it just might save your most important relationships.
I told you this was going to happen. You never listened to me. This is not my fault. It's yours. Man, in the heat of an argument, don't those words just feel so right? So completely justified? It's the language of blame, and it's a vicious, vicious cycle.
So does that sound familiar? That whole pattern of accusation and then defense, back and forth? Yeah, for most of us, it's a reality we know all too well. But what if there was a way to break that cycle for good?
Well, the secret isn't about getting better at winning the fight. It's about changing the entire game. And it all boils down to understanding one crucial difference: the difference between reacting and responding.
Okay, so let's really get into this. Over on the left, you've got reacting. That's your survival brain, just taking over. It's instinctive, it's super emotional, and it's fast. It's what neurologists call an amygdala hijack. Now look at the right, responding. That's your thinking brain stepping in. It's deliberate, it's thoughtful, it's slower, and it makes room for empathy. Think of it like a wildfire versus a controlled burn. One just destroys everything in its path. The other is actually purposeful.
And that really gets us to the core mantra here. Respond, not react. This simple idea, this is the goal. This is what can pull a conversation back from the edge. But let's be real. How do you actually do that when you're seeing red?
Okay, so this is where the trick comes in. It's a practical 6-step process, and it's designed to give you the space you desperately need to shift from that automatic, destructive reaction to a thoughtful, constructive response. Let's walk through it. The first 3 steps are all physical. So, when you feel that surge of anger bubbling up, the very first thing you do is stop. Just stop talking. Mid-sentence doesn't matter. Step 2, move. If you can, physically get some space. Leave the room, but, do it respectfully. And step 3, breathe. Close your eyes and take anywhere from 3 to 9 really deep breaths.
Let's just hang on that first step for a second, because you can't overstate how powerful this is. The simple act of stopping yourself from saying that next word, that is the move. That's the emergency brake that halts the entire downward spiral.
Now, while you're taking those deep breaths in step 3, here's what's happening on the inside. You're using these little calming statements. Simple things like, it's okay. You're literally telling your body's stress response, your entire nervous system, to just stand down.
All right, now we move from the physical to the mental. Step 4, calm. Consciously feel where the tension is in your body and just work to release it. Step 5, analyze. Now this is absolutely crucial. Try to analyze the situation with empathy. Ask yourself, hey, have I ever made a similar mistake? Really try to see it from their perspective. And finally, step 6, respond. But, and this is a huge but, only if you can do it with a calm tone, with kindness, and with love. If you can't, you wait.
So, those are the 6 steps. But how does this simple little sequence become so transformative? Why is this such a game changer for our relationships? Because it completely flips the script on the conflict. That little pause you create, it does everything. It shatters that knee-jerk cycle of blame. It creates this precious, precious moment of space for your rational brain to catch up with your emotional instincts. It lets you consciously swap out that anger for empathy. And maybe most importantly, it puts you, not your temper, back in the driver's seat. And honestly, that's what it all boils down to, right? Control this or it controls you. You can either take control of that first powerful impulse to react, or you can just let that impulse control everything, your words, the outcome, and yeah, your relationships. So it all comes down to that tiny little space between feeling an emotion and acting on it. Mastering that one small moment is the key, because when you control that impulse, you get the power to protect your most important bonds and, quite literally, save everything that really matters. Which really leaves us with one last question for you. The next time you feel that heat rising, in that moment of conflict, what are you going to choose to control? The fleeting satisfaction of an angry reaction or the long-term health of the relationship itself? The choice, as always, is yours.